March 2025. A hiker named Daniel Mercer was trekking through the Sonoran Desert in Arizona when he noticed something unusual sticking out from beneath a layer of sand and brush near an old mining trail. At first, he thought it was a piece of scrap metal or maybe part of a lost backpack. But as he dug it out with his hands, he realized it wasn't like anything he'd ever seen before. The object was about 10 inches long, made of a strange metallic alloy that didn't match any known material and featured symmetrical grooves along its surface. It looked too precise to be natural, too clean to have been buried for long. He snapped a few photos, posted them online, and within hours, the internet exploded. Local authorities were quick to respond, cordoning off the area and bringing in experts from nearby universities. Initial tests showed the object had no detectable radioactivity and didn't match any known military debris or civilian hardware. Carbon dating attempts were inconclusive. Whatever this thing was, it didn't behave like anything we already know. By April, the story had gone global. Researchers from MIT, NASA, and even the Smithsonian got involved. Still, no one could identify it. Now, more than a year later, we're still trying to figure it out. This is the story of that mysterious object, the people who found it, and the scientists who can't explain it. We'll take you back to the moment of discovery, talk to the researchers who've held it in their hands, and walk you through every clue, every theory, and every dead end so far. If you want to stay in the loop on this mystery and others like it, hit that subscribe button now. And if you're as obsessed with this as we are, a quick like would mean the world. Let's crack this thing together. Back in March 2025, Daniel Mercer had no idea what he was stepping into. His hiking route took him through a remote stretch of desert just north of Gila Bend, a region known more for abandoned mines and rattlesnakes than archaeological finds. The coordinates where he discovered the object were logged by GPS, placing it roughly 30 miles from the nearest paved road. That alone raised eyebrows. How did something this unusual get there without anyone noticing? The photos Mercer took show a metallic structure unlike anything familiar. Its shape is elongated, almost teardrop-like, with smooth edges and a patterned surface that seems deliberately engineered. There are no visible seams, no weld marks, no signs of corrosion, despite being partially buried. When local archaeologists arrived on scene, they noted the soil composition around the object was unusually compacted, suggesting it may have been placed intentionally rather than simply dropped or discarded. By early April, the object had been transported to the University of Arizona's Materials Science Lab for testing. Dr. Evelyn Ruiz, a metallurgist who examined it firsthand, described her shock. We ran standard XRF scans, expecting to find aluminum, steel, or maybe even titanium. Instead, we saw a composite blend of elements that don't normally exist together in nature. The material contained trace amounts of iridium, tungsten, and something else entirely unexpected, what she called a synthetic isotope not currently used in any known industrial process. Despite extensive efforts, carbon dating failed to produce a reliable age. Radiometric analysis suggested it might be older than expected, but inconsistencies in the readings left researchers baffled. No records matched its design, no patents, no blueprints, no classified projects lined up with what they were seeing. The only certainty? This wasn't supposed to be here. As theories began to circulate, the scientific community split into two camps. One believed it was some kind of advanced prototype, possibly experimental tech that had been lost or discarded. The other camp whispered about something far more unsettling, something that shouldn't exist at all. With no clear answers emerging, attention turned to the possible origins of the object. Was it ancient or modern? Man-made or something else? Experts started weighing in, offering their own interpretations based on materials, structure, and historical context. One of the most vocal proponents of the ancient origin theory was Dr. Alan Joe, a historian specializing in pre-Columbian artifacts. He pointed to similarities between the object's markings and certain geometric patterns found in Mesoamerican ruins. Some of these designs echo motifs seen in Teotihuacan, he explained during a recorded panel discussion at the National Museum of Natural History. But nothing matches exactly. If this artifact is related to those cultures, it represents a technological leap we weren't aware of. Others weren't convinced. Dr. Maria Lopez, a physicist at Caltech, argued that the precision engineering and isotopic anomalies suggested something far more recent. This isn't a relic from thousands of years ago, she said in an interview with Scientific American. It's built with materials and techniques we barely understand today. Whatever this is, it belongs to our time or possibly beyond it. Then came the conspiracy angle. Some speculated it could be linked to classified military experiments, citing past incidents like the Tic Tac UFO sightings over San Diego. A former intelligence analyst, speaking under anonymity, hinted that the U.S. government had encountered similar objects before but refused to comment publicly. Still, no theory gained traction. Without documentation, without precedent, the object remained an enigma. And with each new test, more questions arose. What force could bury it so precisely? Why no signs of wear? How did it avoid detection for so long? In the absence of concrete answers, speculation flourished. Online forums filled with wild theories ranging from alien technology to time travel artifacts. But among the chaos, a few compelling ideas stood out. One of the most widely discussed theories suggests the object could be tied to an unknown ancient civilization, one that possessed knowledge far beyond what history has recorded. Proponents point to the Antikythera mechanism, a 2,000-year-old device found in Greece that functioned as an astronomical calculator. If such advanced technology existed millennia ago, why couldn't something like the Arizona object? Another theory links the object to secret Cold War-era military experiments. Some believe it could be a component of a lost stealth drone or experimental propulsion system developed in the 1960s. Supporters cite declassified documents showing how the CIA once tested exotic materials at Area 51, though no direct evidence ties those programs to the object found in the desert. Then there's the extraterrestrial hypothesis, the one that gets the most attention. While many dismiss it outright, some researchers remain open to the possibility. After all, if an advanced species visited Earth, wouldn't their technology look completely foreign to us? In a leaked memo attributed to an unnamed aerospace engineer, someone reportedly wrote, "It doesn't match anything we've ever built. Either it's from somewhere very far away, or from a place we don't understand yet." Of course, not all theories are equally plausible. One TikTok user claimed the object was a message from future humans warning us about climate collapse. Another Reddit thread suggested it was a remnant of a lost interdimensional gateway. As entertaining as those ideas might be, most scientists agree the truth, if we ever find it, will likely be stranger than fiction. To better understand how unique the Arizona object truly is, we need to compare it to other unsolved discoveries throughout history. One of the closest comparisons might be the Dropa stone's disc-shaped rocks found in Tibet in the 1930s, allegedly containing untranslatable inscriptions. Though dismissed by mainstream historians, some believe they originated from an unknown culture or even another planet. Another eerie parallel is the Baikal skull, discovered near Lake Baikal in Siberia in 2018. Unlike any human remains previously found, it exhibited an elongated shape and bone density far beyond normal human levels. Despite DNA testing, no conclusive link to existing species has been established. Perhaps the most famous comparison is the Antikythera mechanism. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece in 1901, this intricate device operated like a mechanical computer, tracking celestial movements with astonishing precision. Scientists spent decades analyzing it before realizing its true purpose. Yet even with all the research, no one knows exactly how or where it was made. Like the Arizona object, it defies expectations. What makes the Arizona object different is the complete lack of context. The Antikythera mechanism was found alongside other artifacts, giving researchers clues about its origin. The Dropa stones, while controversial, were embedded in a location with cultural significance. The Baikal skull had surrounding geological data, But the Arizona object, found alone. No site markers, no history, just a single inexplicable artifact sitting in the middle of the desert. That isolation raises serious questions. Was it placed there intentionally? Did something leave it behind? Or worse, was it meant to be found? Adding another layer to the mystery is a peculiar connection to Site 7, an abandoned town deep in the Arizona desert that vanished from records decades ago. Officially, it never existed. No census data, no property registrations, no satellite imagery prior to 2010. Yet, locals speak of it in whispers, referring to it as the Forgotten Town. According to oral histories collected by independent researcher Lena Hartley, Site 7 was once a small settlement built in the late 1940s, possibly connected to a government project. Some claim it housed scientists working on classified energy research. Others insist it was wiped off the map after an accident. What's strange is that the coordinates of Site 7 are only 40 miles from where the object was found. When investigators tried to visit the location, they found nothing but scorched earth and remnants of foundations buried beneath shifting sands. Satellite images from the 1970s show structures that are no longer visible today. More disturbingly, thermal imaging scans taken in 2024 revealed underground anomalies, rectangular shapes, consistent with bunkers or storage facilities. Could the object have originated from Site 7? Some speculate it was part of a failed experiment, accidentally launched or misplaced during a test. Others believe it was hidden there deliberately, either to protect it or to keep it forgotten. The timeline adds to the intrigue. If Site 7 was active in the mid-20th century and the object was buried relatively recently, then something must have happened to bring them together. Whether it was intentional or accidental, the proximity alone is hard to ignore. Meanwhile, government agencies remain silent. FOIA requests regarding Site 7 have yielded little more than redacted pages. Even military archives offer no clear explanation. The deeper we dig, the more questions arise. Given the secrecy surrounding Site 7, it's no surprise that military involvement in the Arizona object has become a major point of speculation. Over the past year, multiple sources, including former defense contractors and anonymous whistleblowers, have suggested that classified reports may already exist on the artifact. In 2024, a partially declassified document surfaced through an investigative journalism group. Dated 1973, it referenced a retrieval operation conducted near Phoenix involving an unknown metallic fragment. Though heavily censored, the file included a sketch nearly identical to the Arizona object. The document was labeled Eyes Only and stamped with a classification level higher than top secret. Other leaks hint at similar discoveries across the globe. A 2008 memo from an unnamed intelligence officer mentioned an incident in Nevada, where a team recovered a non-human manufactured object buried beneath an abandoned missile silo. Again, the description bears striking resemblance to the Arizona find. Military interest in the object intensified shortly after its discovery. Within weeks of Mercer's initial report, several high-ranking officials visited the lab where it was being studied. Their presence was unannounced, and security around the facility increased dramatically. According to insiders, access was restricted to only a handful of researchers. Some claim the object was moved to a secure facility for further testing, though no official confirmation has been released. One scientist, speaking anonymously, admitted that during the final stages of analysis, the object emitted a faint electromagnetic pulse, just enough to interfere with nearby equipment. It wasn't much, they said, but it reacted to something. Maybe temperature, maybe pressure. We don't know what triggered it. Whatever the military knows, they aren't sharing. And that silence only fuels the speculation. While experts debate the object's origins behind closed doors, the public has taken matters into its own hands. Social media platforms have become hotbeds of speculation, with millions of users offering their own theories, diagrams, and even reconstructions based on available photos. Reddit threads dissect every detail, from the symmetry of the grooves to the possible meaning behind the patterns etched onto its surface. Some users believe the markings resemble binary code, suggesting it could be a form of communication. Others argue they look like topographical maps of unknown terrain. One particularly detailed theory proposes that the object is a navigational beacon designed to align with specific constellations. On TikTok, content creators have run the gamut from serious analysis to full-blown drama. One viral video claims the object vibrates when exposed to certain frequencies, supposedly captured using contact microphones. Skeptics argue the effect could be a hoax, but the clip has sparked real discussions among physicists about potential resonance properties. YouTube channels dedicated to paranormal phenomena and fringe science have also jumped on the case. Some host dramatic reenactments of Mercer's discovery, while others conduct deep dives into obscure historical texts that might hint at similar artifacts. One popular theory floating around is that the object could be linked to the legend of the lost city of the ancients, a mythical settlement rumored to contain advanced technology. Despite the noise, a few voices stand out, not because they make the wildest claims, but because they ask the right questions. One independent researcher compiled a database comparing the object's dimensions to sacred geometry ratios, finding eerie correlations. Another analyzed satellite images of the discovery site, uncovering subtle disturbances in the sand that suggest previous activity. Whether any of these theories hold weight remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the internet isn't letting go of this mystery anytime soon. So where do we go from here? Will we ever know what the Arizona object truly is? The answer depends on who you ask. Dr. Evelyn Ruiz believes continued testing using next-generation spectroscopy tools might finally reveal the object's origins. New quantum scanning methods are coming online in 2026, she told us in a recent interview. They can penetrate materials at a subatomic level. If there's any internal structure, we should be able to see it. Others think the key lies in expanding the search radius. If the object was placed deliberately, there may be more like it nearby. Archaeologists have begun combing the surrounding desert using ground-penetrating radar, hoping to uncover additional artifacts or structural remains that could provide context. There's also the possibility that someone, somewhere, already knows the truth. Declassified documents often emerge years after events occur, and history shows that governments tend to reveal secrets when the political climate allows. Some analysts predict that within the next decade, we may see a controlled release of information that changes everything we know about the object. And then there's the most unsettling scenario of all, that we may never fully understand it. Not because of secrecy, but because the object belongs to something beyond our current comprehension. If that's the case, we may have to wait until our own technology catches up before we can begin to decode its purpose. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is clear: this mystery is far from over. The Arizona object isn't just a puzzle, it's a reminder that the world still holds secrets we haven't uncovered. It challenges our understanding of history, technology, and even reality itself. Whether it's a lost artifact, a classified experiment, or something entirely unknown, its existence forces us to question what we think we know. For centuries, humanity has believed we've mapped every corner of the earth, cataloged every species, and documented every major event in history. But this object proves otherwise. It reminds us that there are still places untouched by time, things we can't explain, and perhaps truths we're not ready to face. More importantly, it shows how curiosity drives us forward. Every unanswered question pushes science further. Every mystery sparks innovation. And every strange discovery brings us closer to understanding not just the world, but ourselves. So, what do you think the Arizona object really is? Drop your theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey through one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time, hit that like button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what comes next. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.